the book, from the book, and 319 the slideshows. The new slideshow 319, cultivating wisdom through listening, contemplating, and meditating. So everything is there. The teaching is finished already. Cultivating, three things, right? Cultivating wisdom through listening, contemplating, and meditating. So that is the Buddha Dharma. If you've done these three things, you are completely enlightenment. So we get the starting is a very beautiful place. Starting, I mean the main important. Okay, so now we cultivate love, compassion, bodhicitta. Close your eye first. Listening, teaching before cultivate. Cultivating love, wishing all beings have happiness, wish all beings. That is the causes of happiness, Dharma, wishing all beings has connect with the Dharma. Dharma is causes of happiness. Wishing all beings free from suffering, causes of suffering. The cause of suffering is self-grasping. Dharma practice is antidote to the self-grasping. So we show beings practice Dharma to antidote to self, reduce the self, wishing everyone recognize selflessness of a person, recognize the selflessness of a person free from suffering, wishing all beings suffering, free from suffering. Then cultivate bodhicitta, all beings suffering in samsara. These all thinking beings used to our parents. So we wanted to liberate these all beings. That's the reason we're going to cultivating wisdom through listening, contemplating, meditating, and enlightening. The reason, the four benefit other beings. Also, change our own perceptions. Visualize where we are live. This is a visualize Taras feeling. Purify impure perception in the land. This land where we are, this place is Taras feeling. Where we live, the house is Taras Mandala house, Taras palace. Visualize or listening teaching is retinal, Taras retinal. When you receive teaching, visualize it comes from teaching, it's Tara directly. Visualize Tara. Then visualize Ru Guru. Supplication to Ru Guru. Purify our obscuration. Ask blessing. Understanding Dharma. Then go to your own mind, meditate a little bit, no resting, no conceptual, no duality. Let go of the thoughts, be with the present. Just watch, flow onto your this present moment of mind. This present moment of mind is your Buddha. It's Buddha nature. Recognize. All sentient beings is all this same nature, same essence. Recognize all sentient beings are Buddha. You know, all sentient beings has this nature, but due to karma among the effective emotions, we don't recognize this nature. That's the reason we're going to study cultivating wisdom through listening, contemplate, meditating. So now you open your eye and look to your slideshows. So Tibetan Chi Nyeni Jula Machipa is first is cultivating. Okay, so wisdom through listening, contemplating, meditating. So this three is the main topic today. For the second subsection, instructions are given on the necessity of cultivating wisdom through listening, contemplating, and meditating in the Tara prayer, first line of the third verses of this. So we finish the first two verses. So this is the third verses. This Tara has 7 verses. Supplication Tara has 7 verses. So we finish 2 verses already. So now today is we are in the 3 verses. So each these verses has a very profound and the special meanings. Each is like kind of a big different, like whole. Each verses hold the whole Buddha's teaching actually. Same like we talk about Four Noble Truth statements, So each these verses has very deep, profound meanings. So in these verses is the third verses is when I wrote this commentary is followed by the 4 dharmas of Gampopa. 4 dharmas of Gampopa, the teaching, they also hold all the Buddha's whole teaching essence in the 4 sentences. In this Jigten Sunggun, this Tara prayer, this third verses has same meaning is the Gampopa's the 4 dhammas of Gampopa, same meaning, same essence, kind of similar, very similar. So this third verses, actually the meaning is basic teaching, Hinayana tradition, then special teaching, Mahayana teaching, and then Vajrayana teaching. All these 3 yana teaching is held in this statement, third verses. So now Tibetan is Chi Nyeni Jula Machipa. So that means not truly completing the Dharma teaching in my heart. So Dharma is actually not into our mind. So the main point is like the root text. Why is the Dharma is teaching is not into our mind? Because not truly implanting the Dharma teaching in my heart. Why happening that? So even you receive teachings, you cultivate, meditate, still not truly complete the Dharma teaching in our heart. So why the problem? So this is like we're talking about this second sentence is. First is why is the Dharma is not planted in our heart. With this line, we are reminded of the four Dharmas of Gambopa. The first is indicated in the prayer, please grant blessing for the mind to turn towards the Dharma. So that is the come from Gambopa's four Dharma. Gambopa prayer has the first sentence is this one, please grant blessing for the mind to turn towards the Dharma. So words is saying is different ways, but meaning, mean point is the same. This, you know, the four dharmas of Gambopa's first sentence, and then this Jigten Sumgon's third verses is the teaching is same meaning, same essence, but that presenting the teaching, saying is different ways. So for Dhamma Gambopa is like just kind of more supplicating. Please grant blessing for the mind to turn towards the Dharma. So in this supplication, Tara teaching is just directly pointing finger, you know, oh, you have this problem. So other is like, oh, I have this, please help me, I have this problem, please relieve me my problem, like that, you know. Supplication Tara is, oh, you have this problem, you have to recognize, you have to get rid of that. So that kind of different ways, you know, presenting, but mean essence exactly same thing. So no, the meaning of this line is that even though we may practice the Samlam Dharma, we have to make sure that the Dharma is taking root in our mind stream, not just on external level. So when we practice the Dharma, actually Dharma must have antidote to our emotions, the Dharma practice. If Dharma practice is not antidote to our emotions, then Dharma practice is just followed by outer level, not going into the inner. So that's the reason here is Dharma is taking root in our own mind stream. If you take Dharma is taking root into our own mind stream, then that practice is really purify our karma and antidote to our self-grasping, antidote to our emotions. Not just on external level. If we follow the external level, but then you looks like practitioner, you looks like doing good things, but then actually your emotion, your self-grasping is always there. You know, just like cover, you know, like outside is very nicely. And example, like you have some like garbage, is like terrible things. You cover very beautiful something. You don't see that, you know, kind of like that. You know, author dharma practices like you look very nice. You doing look great, yeah. But then actually the your emotions, your self grasping is still there. Not get rid of that. But then here is the we have take in short that the dharma is taking root in our mind stream. So if you really take that, just something garbage and things like not just cover nicely, they just already get rid of that. You know, the not going to just solve like temporarily nice, temporarily not solving problems, just permanently solving problems. Get rid of all the emotions, self-grasping. So it is for that reason that the holy beings of the past have all talked extensively on the four thoughts that turn the mind as a method for turning the mind away from samsara. So that's the reason these all holy beings, the past have all talked extensively. All these teachers talked extensively on the four thoughts. Why did these teachers so much focus for thought meditation? Because four thought meditation turn the mind as a method for turning the mind away from samsara. So practice four thoughts, then your mind is really going into the Dharma, and not just practice outer level, follow the outer level. Your practice Dharma is going into the inner level. Dharma is into our mind stream. If we have good practice, this four thought meditation. Since we sentient beings, as talked in the Buddha Dharma, have been circling since time and numberer within this samsara. So the main point is like sentient beings are talked in the Buddha Dharma, like in the Buddha's teaching, talk about have been circling since time and numberer within this samsara. The mind stream of sentient beings have amassed strong habits of self-grasping, the cause of samsara and the karmic imprint. So, we are actually reborn in samsara is so many lifetimes. Beginningless time until now. It's many lifetimes we are cyclic existence in samsara. So during that time, we create so strong habits of self-grasping, amass the strong habits of self-grasping, the cause of samsara and the karmic imprint. So strong we already create, so that we cannot easily get rid of. If Dharma practice is not into our mind stream, then we cannot get rid of this, amass strong habits of self-grasping, the cause of samsara. Because that is so strong already we create. Just, you low practice auto level nice, good, drawing looks very good, but that kind of practice cannot get rid of this self-grasping. Self-grasping is already so strong. We create that. Not only one lifetimes, that we create so many lifetimes, this self-grasping, habitual, strong habits of self-grasping, the cause of samsara, and karmic imprint. So therefore, it is not easy to renounce to samsara. So without renounce samsara, then very hard to get dharma is into our mind stream. Whatever we're doing is just followed by auto level practice. Our auto level practice just helps for temporarily, but still our emotion is there, cannot get rid of our emotions, cannot change it, our mind, So that's the reason sometimes like some people doing lots like great practicing, but then years does practice and doing dharma, but then still just when get the condition of the emotion, just the person is come back to normal, regular, ordinary, nothing changed. Why happened that? The reason is because the Dharma is not taken into our mind stream in the root. So why is that problem? The problem is because we have this amassed strong habit of self-grasping, the cause of samsara and karmic imprint is so strong. So now what we have to do, we have to cultivate four-thought meditation. When we cultivate four-thought meditation, we get strong renunciation, samsara, renounce. We wanted to get rid of samsara. So long as you have that, mind, renunciation, then whatever you do, Dharma is practice. Whatever you do, the Dharma practice is always come into our mind stream. Become into the mind, into the inner practice. So that's the reason here says, so therefore it is not easy to renounce. So we have to create a renunciation. Where is the renunciation come from? It's practice four-thought meditation. The reason for this is, first of all, the reason for this is, the first of all, the sheer length of time we have been gathering habitual imprints. During this time, they have become quite strongly implanted in us. So the second reason is that in this modern century, we have exclusive availability of the sense pleasures. So even if we try to apply on antidote, the allure of the desirable sense pleasures is too strong. And this makes it very difficult for us to subdue much less, let go of our desire. So this the main point here. Right now, think about, of course, we have this so many lifetimes created this karmic imprint, so strong. The secondly, right now, is we call degeneration time, because this desire circumstances is so convenient, so easy to get, so much distractions. So mind is not easy to go into the Dharma. So think about we during the Jigten Sumgo time, that time is easy to go to the Dharma. Malareba's time is more easy than that. So also we think about our life, maybe 70s, 80s is easy. People more spiritual. His mind is more connection to that spiritual, And then also we know my understanding is 90s, 2000s easy to Dharma into the practice. But compared to this time there's so much distractions, especially this, social media and all this, world is become actually so, everything's so convenient and everything's very easy one way, but actually that makes more desire, and always this for practice, distracting for practice Dharma. So not easy to mind into the Dharma. Of course, if we can use this social media, use good way, also so many things valuable to Dharma practice. The comparing to the before, if you going to receive Dharma teaching before, so you have to look for the teacher, and you have to go get teacher. Is you have to put so much effort, not just stay at your home and sit in your beautiful, like living rooms, bedrooms, and listening, teaching. So teacher is effort to your home, not like that, right? Say last night we received empowerment from Dalai Lama, and just sitting in the bedroom or wherever you are living room, just is in there. You just social media, even you don't have to put any password, and you don't need to sign up anything, just comes there, and then you can receive it directly there. Think about the like 80s and 90s, like we don't have this opportunity. Even 2010 until 2001 to 2010, but not really like that easy. So one way is, of course, everything's easy, but everything's easy is then also we don't appreciate, we don't recognize it's important. If you don't recognize important, you don't appreciate, then just, the Dharma is there, but nothing going really help to us. 90, 80s to 2000 between in Tibet, also very hard to receive teachings during that time. So I share you like little short my story. When I was monk in the Gar monastery, and so of course before that teachers come to in my village, but that does only kind of just practicing drup chains, drup shoes, like kind of a long time ago tradition. The village just do some create accumulation, marry, and they're just drawing these practices like the everyone thinks their own benefits because they remove obscuration, and they think, oh, we do this in what teach lamas and do this drupchins. That everyone think, oh, the success for my this year life, for they all is thinking about their just own benefits. They don't know the dharma much. They just only have a good devotion. Then when the teachers comes, that time so many lamas come into my home, the village. Actually, no one really know the dharma teachings. They just only know this ritual things. That does this ritual things, and no one share any one word the dharma like, oh, you have to do this, this. Maybe they say, okay, don't smoking, don't drinking too much, don't fight, or just make haramane, stay good, chant mantra, like that kind. You giving suggestions, but not really going to share like dharma teaching, giving your education some stages, teachings. No one talk because the reason is like my whole hometown area is we don't have a sheda. No one has education dharma. The actually of course many lamas, many monasteries, no one has like really uh, the background study, like going to teach for publicly talk about the dharma. No one knows. Everyone actually in Tibet is shy to talk. They just like to do practice, but they say, okay, you talk something. They say, oh, you talk. No one talk. Here is like we say, okay, do something. I'm going to do. Everyone say like, I'm right. In Tibet, like everyone, no, 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 me. So no one wanted to. Everyone shy. So anyway, like that. When I get in the monastery, also 3 years, I stay in the monastery. I learn lots of ritual things. It's lots of things great, but we don't thinking about the study dharma. I thought that is somewhere like very special, high, some trainings. We never think about going to get that education, and we never think about going to learn. Oh, that is not possible. We think not possible get study dharma, and then one day just I wanted to learn the Tibetan grammar. When we teach Tibetan, usually in the or it's homeschools, so the teaching is only giving you how to read. The focus is how to read. The mostly people don't know the grammar. Only this who know the grammar, we recognize that person's like high education. Not so many people knows grammar because my hometown, the area is like education area. No one has a good education. So we just knows how to read. Then the people say, "Oh yeah, he can read." Everyone say, "Oh, he can read." That's also great. We study only reading. Just focus that, and then reading is perfectly. We can read very fast. In the monastery, monks we can read very fast. But talk about the grammar. If you send the letter to someone, it's very hard to write letter, to correctly to send it to somebody. There's a long stories like uh, in the Kham area, Tibet, they send a letter to like previous like Dalai Lama. So what they wrote in the beginning, there's they don't know how to say, and the monastery sent a letter to His Holiness Dalai Lama. This is a long time ago his story. They just say like don't know how to put a polite good word, what they don't know how to say beginning and what they have to say. They say like uh, put in the beginning, they say I'm going to like how to say the katsara means like I'm order you Dalai Lama, like that. That put the letter beginning. So cannot say I order you. So you have to put something like more polite, nicely, right? But they don't know because the usually the uh, can read very good, but they don't know the how to write poetry and then write a good letter to send it to others. And when I was in monastery, I want to write always a letter, good writing letter, like send it to people. So then writing, but if I can write some Tibetan, but they don't know how to write correctly. So that is the problem. So anyway, like that kind of, we don't have education, even monastery. They're not really Dharma teaching here. They just come to like do always read, practice. Then just follow the law and the rules, monastery. So many ritual things have to learn. That's all is like this. They follow the tradition. They does like previous gachin or third gachin, many generations. So all monastery has like that, everyone. And then one year we invited one Kempo. So he talked in the one month in the summertime we have 45 days summer retreat. So he shared teaching, short teaching, and when he shared the teaching, so one sections in every day, one section, short sections. So then that gave me the courage to go to learn the Dharma. Then kind of say, oh, I'll study a little bit and I understand a little bit, meanings, what are we doing. So then I think, oh, I wanted to go to study, and the study goes to like not my hometown area. No, we don't have any shedas there. So I have to go to all the way, very far away, and go to very far away. Also, no great transportation. Transportation is not easy, very difficulty. You go there to study Dharma, learn the Dharma. It's, people just don't have mostly not really courage to go there. Only who has something, background, rich family, then maybe they can send it to, their, the of course in Tibet, the family have the support for monks. So then they can family can send it to the study. But generally, usually, mostly the monks, they don't have courage to go to study there. And when I received the summer teaching from the Kempo, and then I wanted to go to study, so I get permission from monastery. So that time is a Gachin Rinpoche is not a monastery. We have another called Major Rinpoche, is very old one, and all this my hometown area mostly different lineages. Big respect for that one because he has the Vinaya order. So he giving all the monks vows, Vinaya teachings, and that's the reason mostly monastery monks who's become get monks vow come to Gar monastery get vow from the Gar Rinpoche, and he give it that vow, And that's the reason all these different Tibetan, different lineages, everyone respect that teacher. So he passed away last year, Galmanjo Rinpoche, old one. So Gachen Rinpoche, Galmanjo Rinpoche comes together when they're very small, young together, all the way to enter just, same room and the kind of same, usually the same place. And just always like sibling, So Gachen Rinpoche, he's talk about Galmanjo Rinpoche, he been with him when he was young to enter just, he passed away, they don't have any disagree, anything. Like one word. So always like Galmanjo has good patience and he has very strong respect, devotion to Gachen Rinpoche, Galmanjo Rinpoche. So then Galmanjo Rinpoche is like not really active. He like to stay very calm and just relax. Usually he practice himself. So I have to get permission from him. If I go to study, I went to see him. He said, okay, very great. So you go to learn, study Dharma. We need someone. Actually, some Gar monastery monks before went to study. He said, we have monks go to study. I'm happy you go to study. So he said, support you. And the main point, he says, I cannot like encourage to all the monks to go to study, but who goes and no one stopped. So that's his shame. That's the kind of his like secret, If he encourage to everyone go to study, then monastery is who going to run the monastery? Who going to take care of all these rituals? Yeah. So if everyone left, then that's the reason he's not going to ask courage to study. Someone like that comes like they wanted to go to, he don't stop. So then I have to get permission from my home, and my home is very far away from Gar Monastery. So, and I have to go back to home to get permission to go to study there. I went back to my home. My mother's, they 100% denied, then 100% disagreed. That thing, in this world, it's Gar Monastery is the best. If you leave that monastery, we no believe, no trust anything, then it's like just that don't like that, just 100% disagreed. So I'm also 100% disagreed. I'm not going to stay in the monastery. I'm just going to go to study there. No one can stop. So anyway, I'm winner. So then my parents try to get preparing money, something have to. I get money, and then I get money, so I have to journey. And the journey on the way takes 1 month to get in the Serta. Serta Laronga Kempon Jimmy Pinto Palace takes 1 month. It's so hard. I didn't recognize that. Because the transportation is not easy, so hard and difficult, the transportation that time. Then of course the parents, everyone is like, has worried because some on the road somewhere, if I'm die, so no one knows, what's going on. Maybe they cannot get body. They don't know where he gone, So no any communication, no phone calls, no any send letters. You just don't know anything. You just leave the home, just leave. You don't know where he goes. Right? No any messages. So when I went back to monastery, and I know that one monk is going to study there, and in the Kempo Jimmy Pinso place. So he went there before already. I asked him I want to come with you, so you help me to take me there. So he said okay. So he going back to his home, and anyway he not coming back monastery. So he go back to his home, and then 1 week after he going to go to called the Chamdo, is like another part. He said he go through that road to going to the Serta Kempo Jimmy Pinso place. So then he just left. Then I know he going to go to Chamdo, means like in another area, so city. So I thought I go there, I can read him there, And then I followed that road, and I wait him, he never comes, he never show up. And Tibetan families, like, delivery me one day journeys. They have me, transportation one by one. And I get in the Chamdo, and I waited like 1 week, 2 weeks, he never show up. So I don't know where I have to go. So nobody knows. I ask people, where is the Kempo Jamin Principal Place? They say, I don't know, where is that? So then, like that, then I go to the city every day. I see the llamas. Some llamas looks like they kind of come from their area, and the spec is because different. Wearing clothes is a little bit different. I recognize some looks like come from their area. Then I ask them. Just I found the information. I write down, and then I going to the touch. That time is no cars, and mostly is we have to ride the tight, tight. So you have to stay behind the tight, and so that's also hard to get. And so that tight, I have to stay only myself behind the tight. Some tight it like take me delivery to 1 day, 1 hour, 2 hours. Then no one going to directly go there, like that will take so many days. When I get in the Cable Jimmy Pinto place, it's already gone 1 month. Yeah. So it's a long story actually. I remember every day what I did that time, I can share you actually more details what I did 1 day, all the way 1 month there. So it takes 1 month to get there. When I get there, so I don't know anyone there. So I don't know anyone there. I don't understand what they says. What I says, they don't understand. Okay. So luckily, and when I get before the 2 months in the tuck, we are same in the tuck. So these 2 months have me and take to their home, their room. Home is they have just their own Lama house for them. So they kept me the 3 days, and then I know one Lama only. My hometown area. I looking that monk 3 days after I found that Lama. It's because it's so big, so many monks. They don't know each other, and I have to just watch everyone standing in the door. I have to lock that person. So finally I found that Lama, and then I have to stay with that Lama, but his room is so small and very tiny, very small. So we have to cook in his room and have to sleep, the same room, have to cook everything in the same room, but we cannot do everything. So, he have to stay his own small, really small, tiny bed he has. Then, of course, when he has a book shows, lots of books, of course, I have to study the books. So then small stove, very small stove. So then, and they have a very, just like one person can lay down and sleep there in the in the stove area. So I have to sleep there, and his rooms are like that kind of tiny. When we have to cook, he have to stay in his bed. He cannot come to, because 2 people cannot do anything. They're too small. So we stay like that whole winter, and then next year I bought away another small hut, and like that, we stay. So many months like that. They're just but that time is we don't thinking it's like so hard and difficulty. Just mind is like kind of appreciate, happy, and get dharma and study, and so like that. That's it. Not only me. So many who wanted to dharma is all the way have to come very long way, and you have to receive teaching and study. Take because you wanted to study dharma, you have to stay long, many years. Not just only receive one teaching, you can go home. So then you stay there, you don't know anything in your home, anything. Like right now, I can wanted to say something, my home, I can just right there, I can call and I can talk. That time, just 3 years, I don't hear anything. 3 years, I don't hear anything. So like that, you know. But actually not really that far. But the problem is transportation, and that time is just, you know, very hardest time, not easy. So this time is like easy to get transportation, easy to go. No same is like that. So that time when I went, that time is like who monks come to in Cambodia place to study. They're just always focused for Dharma because they get there is a hardship to get there. Who get hardship, they don't just want to leave. That nothing, you know, you done something. You stay and focus for Dharma. Study very hardship. So that is like just short story. My and mostly who study Dharma that time, the monks all did hardship, same as what I did. You know, then we went to India also, the more hardship too again. So that is a long story. We don't go there today, okay? So no, Dharma is like, you know, not easy to get. See, you recognize that Marpa Loza, he went to India. The one reason is so hard to get Dharma in Tibet. Even who has Dharma teachings, they don't give teachings without big offerings. So Marpa Loza, he thing is he don't have offerings all the time. One receive teaching, he finish offerings, he cannot get offering Dharma. Then he think I want to go to India, I want to learn Dharma, study. And that's why he went to India. He also 17 years, 17 years, he put all hardship, you know, journey in India and stay in India. 17 years, he not leave the home, study Dharma. So that's the reason you have to know the Dharma, God is appreciated. That is the most important. Otherwise, you don't recognize, appreciate Dharma is like we don't recognize, we lucky, and we have this opportunity. We don't understand these precious human bodies. The Dharma is not going into the heart. So that's why here is, you see, in the Dalai Lama also, he said this quote. I told this is from somewhere, his book is Tibetan. So in order, there's many Dharma practitioners, even if they did not have a great deal of exposure to and knowledge of many teachings, since they did not meet with many conditions in the environment that would provoke them. There were many who accomplished their practice. Nowadays, there are exceeding amounts of factors in our society that would influence us. So unless someone has sufficiently listened to and completed the Dharma, it is very easy for the mind to change or be swayed in other directions. Therefore, everyone please carefully listen to the teaching and contemplate their meaning fully. So this main point, what His Holiness says, this ordering days, even you don't have much Dharma study educations, so you have strong devotions and you have good conditions practice, you get realization. In all these modern days, if we don't have really understanding Dharma, then this worldly, you know, these distractions easily serve our mind. Mind is easily take to the worldly activity. So that's the reason in this time is like without understanding Dharma, without education, without understanding, very hard to maintaining, you know, and stay the practice Dharma, because easily our minds shift, change. You know, like sometimes you come to renunciation. Yeah, I want to practice Dharma. It's great, but then next day it's gone. It's not there. Why is that? Because Dharma is you don't have understanding deeper level and not enough educations. This ordained days is easy. You know, even you don't have that much understanding Dharma, but just environment is not much desire. So can you know easy to like practice. So that's also just another way we have to understand the thinking. You know, make sense or not? Do you understand right what I'm talking here?
Yeah, makes sense.
Hmm. Okay, through such words and others like them, we can understand this point. In short, if we are unable to awaken genuine renunciation within our own mind streams, we we will not be able to find freedom from the suffering of samsara. And there will be no way to achieve the peace of nirvana, the state of Shavaka or Pakika Buddha Ahat, the state of Buddhahood. So without this renunciation, then really cannot get freedom, free from samsara, not able to find freedom from the suffering of samsara. Because if we attach to samsara, then without renunciation, uh, you know, attached to samsara, then just mind is always with samsara. Dharma is not really into our mind. You know, that's the reason we have to cultivate four thoughts meditations. Already talked, you know, this all the holy beings always talk about this four thoughts meditation. So important. We have to understand that four thoughts meditation. So four thoughts meditation, actually, you know, when we study four thoughts meditation, some people doesn't like to hear these four thoughts meditations, but that is like big misunderstand. I understand this in the Western country really need to practice four thoughts meditation. It's kind of a, for medicine for them Western country. The big medicine for good for mental problems need this four thoughts meditation. Four thoughts meditation is mind medicine. So many people has think about, you know, depressions, sad. Why that happening? Because they don't recognize precious human body. And the depressions is come from self and self, and also is emotion. Uh, so so you meditate precious human body and become understanding. You know, think about this depression is only thinking about I. They don't recognize like whole situations. You meditate is like uh, this precious human body. You understanding whole situations. You are not that kind of bad situation. Have to get you know, depression and sad like that kind. But the why that happening? Because the self is so strong. You don't understanding all situations. Think about it, we are human beings. Body is comparing to all these animal realms. Is so much better life, 100 times better life. So many beings in the animal realms. So we are free from that state. We recognize that we have joy, and then you have joy. You don't have get these depressions. The depression and joy feeling it cannot be together. So think about the whole hungry ghost, harems, so many beings that we are free from that. Oh yeah, I get human beings body. Why I'm depression? Why I'm sad? I can do something, good things. You recognize that just you get good feeling in your mind. You release depressions and anxieties. Yeah, so think that, and then of course, like you look to yourself, and especially in the Western country, it's much better opportunities. Many things, freedom. Long as you do something good, you have so many opportunities. So then sometimes, like, just due to the like karma, of course, is many things get uh, obstacles, but long as you just understanding this precious human body, and you recognize your situations, you can get your your situation, your ability, what you can find to do something. You can find something. So you understanding your situation, then what you can find, what you can do. You always have something opportunity to you can do there. Some other country is no freedoms, like very hard, difficulty, whatever you have ability to do something, you don't have any opportunity, like many things, like it's lack of opportunity. It's difficulty. So in the Western country, it's great because if people just have to change the mindset, not stuck only one thing. I wanted to do only this. If I don't get this one, then you know, then the thing I cannot do anything. Then the depression is so sad, and like kind of like create like their problems, their own. They create their own problem. So they don't have open mind, understanding whole situations. You just understand the precious human body, and then cultivate a thing. Oh, I cannot do this. I can't do this. So you can have so many opportunities. Like you don't have to start one. Okay, I cannot do this today, but I wanted that do this, but no, I cannot get that one. I can do this today. You can find something. What you can find, you do that, then you also slowly you can get what you want. So that is like become who understanding precious human body, open everything, open up, understanding whole situations. Then of course understanding impermanent. It's great, it's like in the Western country, people have so strong fixation, and the just everything's a thing is permanent. So if something is become lost, change, so then they cannot accept that. If you cannot accept that, then you get so much pain and the suffering. So just understanding impermanent, everything is change. What we have right now is something difficulty, problem. This also impermanent. What right now we have good life, good things happening. That's also impermanent. So you understand these all situations, not suffering with the suffering, not attached to your desire happiness. So you can release these two. You can recognize you have a happy. You don't have to give up that. You recognize it's impermanent. You are not strongly attached to that. So we have suffering difficulties, like right now we have this coronavirus affected. So much people get difficulty and hard time, but who knows impermanent? This everything is change. So then there become mindset is changes. Like you cannot change the situation, but you change your mindset. Is your just get not so much depression, suffering. Everything is impermanent, right? We recognize that, and no one can control that. Then of course, like everything is followed by karma, cause and effect. So everyone want happiness, no one want suffering. Anyway, this is we are in the samsara. So whatever we want, we have to know we want is we can't get that. Everything what we want because it's due to karma. If you want something, expectation is okay, but you don't get that, or you think, oh, it's my karma, I don't get. So just letting go. You can try, If you don't get, you don't success for that, just then letting go. Okay, this is my karma. So you don't stuck that. Yeah. And then your karma, cause and effect means we can try everything. We can do good things because you say, oh, no, I cannot do anything. That is wrong because it's karma, cause and effect means we can create things. We can do something. We can change. So we can do something, change. You know, future life, future is actually right now our hand, especially future life is up right now our hand. Right now is right now our actions. So that's all is like we can change our future lives. And of course, then right now in the 2020, so we can think about the 2021, 2022, 3, 4, 5. You think, oh, I wanted to do something, good things. Because it's everything is possible. It's everything is cause as a conditions. So we have to create that karma, cause and effect. Is we are creator. We create, or we can create that something good things. We can change ourselves. So that is not up to somebody. Up to everything is us. So we have our independent opportunity. You know, we have freedom opportunity, and no one control us. We can do something. We can change ourselves. That is due to karma, cause and effect. So that is a good medicine for, you know, in the right now people, the situation, especially in the Western country. It's a good medicine for thoughts meditations. Of course, then you practice Dharma. Without this four thoughts meditation, Dharma is not really come into our heart and the mind stream. This all is followed by auto level the circumstances, auto level practice. Auto level practice I already shared with you. Just looks great, but actually not really purify your karma and not really like practices antidote to our emotions. So that's the reason we have to practice four thought meditation. Therefore, if we repeatedly familiarize ourselves with the reality of how difficult it to obtain the freedoms and domain and with the impermanence of the life, we will see the dissolution of our clinging to and the fixation on this present life. If we repeatedly familiarize ourselves with and bring to mind the fallibility of karma, the law of cause and effect, and the suffering of samsara, we will see the dissolution of our clinging and the attachment to future samsaric lives. We will not be chained to the hope of obtaining the pleasures and happiness in the higher realms. Without any longing, our hunger for highs of samsara enjoyment, irreversible drive forward, liberation should blossom in the mind stream. If this does not arise, it means that the Dharma has not truly taken root in our heart's mind. And if it is does, it means Dharma has taken root. That is also the sign of mind successfully turning towards the Dharma. So if we have enough practice this four thoughts meditation, then this you know, Dharma has taken root. So that is also the sign of mind successfully turning towards the Dharma. Mind is turning towards the Dharma. Long as we have practiced this four thoughts meditation, then our mind is turning into the Dharma. So this four Dhammas Gampopa, first statement is basic teachings. Is all the Buddha actually, what Buddha says, fourth statement. Tibet called Dipachiyam Mazaki, gave up his own sober, the Rangasam Yon's door, done a Sanjay Tembaye. His first statement is Dipachiyam Mazaki, means like not engage in non virtuous deeds. So that is like is basic teaching. It's the same as like also the sun of mind successfully turning towards the Dharma. If our mind is go into the Dharma, then we're not going to harming for other beings, not going to create non-virtuous deeds. So that is a Buddha first statement. Actually, there's 4 sentences. Very beautiful. Dipachi Yamazashi means not to create, engaging non-virtuous deeds. So that is a basic teaching. All the Buddha's first teaching is subsumed into that statement. Same thing, you know, the 4 dharmas of Gampopa, first one also into the turning the mind is to the Dharma is part of that. Then Jigten Sunggo also said this, you know, root text, here is the root text, what he says. I have to read the English. The not truly implanting the Dharma teaching in my heart. So that's all is like Buddha's first basic teaching, all subsumed into that sentence, that statement. The main point is. The next line of the 3rd verses reads. So then 3rd one, Tanyi Tsegi Jindang ne. So I see the 3rd one is the Tanyi Tsegi Jindang ne, means and follow after the words. Follow after words means these 2 sentences go together. This root sentence is like not truly implanted the Dharma teachings in my heart and follow after the words. So Dharma is not into our mind, follow the words, means not follow the Dharma, just follow the words. You know, not follow the meaning, follow the words. And that's the reason. And the Buddha says, I think it's coming here. I don't have to talk that again here. So, okay. So even if one already has awakened a mind of renunciation, the Dharma may not go along the right path. Someone has good renunciation, you know, then, so even one already has this first sentence, that someone has already that has awakened the mind of renunciation, but the Dharma may not go along the right path. Why? This could happen because of following after words and the labels in the teaching. So someone has a really good renunciation and then don't know about the Dharma, no wisdom, what's going to happen? Then you don't know what is right, what is wrong. So you are getting stuck with the confusions. If you really want to go from here to, example, we are in the thing about everyone is East Coast. Everyone want to go to San Francisco from here, okay? This is an example, just not rare, okay? Example, just from go here. So everyone wanted to go there. Everyone wanted to think, oh, there's a good, 100% great there. It's get there, it's great. So recognize here area is like hurricanes, desires, like so much going on East Coast. Everyone want to go there, but you don't know the path. Not only have wanting to go there doesn't help, right? You need to know how to get there. So that is the second statement. It comes to this one. That is why Gampopa prayer in these 4 dharmas. So this Gampopa prayer, second statement, grant blessing for the Dharma to go along the right path. Dharma is go along the right path. So you have to go to take to the right path and not following after the words. So many similar kind of same words. You don't know which one is right. You know, like you go into the intersections, so many similars everywhere. So we share the Pardo teachings like intersections, you know, lots. So like that, so many similarities, like wherever you go is a great road, but it's, you don't know which one. So that's the reason here is the grant the blessing for the Dharma to go along the right path. There are many instances in which words of Buddha's texts seem to be similar to non-Buddhist teachings. And many instances in which different philosophical traditions with Buddhism seem to be saying the same thing. See, so many similar words. So if you wanted to right path, you have to know which is right teaching. Yeah. Otherwise, just I want to go right direction. I wanted to get to good place, but you don't know any road, which road is the correct road. You get wrong place. So we need wisdom. So, you know, doing something always like have to go two together, not only wisdom with compassion, not only compassion with wisdom. So that's why Buddha said these two things have to go together, you know, method, wisdom have to go together. So without understanding, and also you have good heart, wanted to do something, good things, you don't know is that result is good or bad. You wisdom have to know that result is great or not. So if you take the path, you have to know the path is great or wrong path. That's why Buddha said, investigate me, investigate my teaching. Means like what is the main point is you have to understanding, you have to create wisdom. That teaching is the main point is we have to create wisdom. We have to understanding Dharma. So then teachings and many instances in which different philosophical tradition within Buddhism seems to be saying the same thing. However, in the truth, there are tremendous differences among them. So many, the words is very similar, but meaning is a big different. Even these Buddhist different schools also kind of similar words, but it's big different. The similar words say, okay, example, Buddhist say relative truth, absolute truth. These are four schools, Buddhist four schools say exactly same like that, relative truth, absolute truth. But relative truth, absolute truth is totally different, no same. Words is the same, but meaning is different. So that's the reason we have to understanding this whole teaching generally. This is like first part is like this first like already talked is a method. We need a method. We have good heart. We wanting to do something. Second is like we have to know that what we're going to doing things. We have to understanding. We have to know that is correct or not. So difference among them as big as the difference between the sky and the earth. That is why Buddha taught the four spiritual ways of relying, and one of these ways is to rely on the meaning, not on the words. This is a case in which one needs to develop wisdom through listening to teaching. If you have the wisdom of listening, you will be able to awaken the precious bodhicitta, A bodhicitta is one who, out of compassion, does not abide in the extreme of nirvana, and who, out of wisdom, also does not abide in the extreme of samsara. So, they have to understanding. We cannot follow the words. We have to understand the meaning. So then also Buddha said, like here is the we have to relying is the these four things is really great. So I wanted to think about this. Rely on the meaning, not on the words. Buddha taught the four spiritual way of relying, and one of these ways is to relying on the meaning, not on the words. So then relying on the Another is relying on the absolute truth, not relying on the relative truth. Relying the Dharma, not relying on the person. So relying on the wisdom, not relying on the consciousness. Okay, so that is four things. Relying on the, it's here says Buddha told the four spiritual ways of relying on. Four things relying on. So I just shared with you. So then you have that for relying on. Then if you have wisdom, then when you have this understanding for relying on, you get wisdom. Long as you have wisdom, then you get bodhicitta. So where is this bodhicitta come from? Bodhicittas come from wisdom. It's actually the very high level bodhicitta, great one, bodhicitta. So no, this section is like second, for Dhamma Gampopa prayer, grand blessing for Dharma to go along the right path. So the Dharma is a grand blessing for Dharma to go along the right path is need compassion and bodhicitta. Without compassion, bodhicitta, Dharma is not go along the right path. Right path, wrong path is depending compassion and bodhicitta. Without bodhicitta, without compassion, not right path. That is become wrong path. Yeah, so the essence of Dharma is bodhicitta. Without bodhicitta, the practice is not going to right path. So that's the reason. As long as you have this compassion, then does not abide in the extreme of nirvana. Means like bodhicitta says a compassion that's not stuck in the nirvana. And who out of wisdom also does not abide in the extreme of samsara. Then who has wisdom, they're not stuck in the samsara because they get liberate. Wisdom liberate. Compassion not stuck in the aha and the pachika level and come back to benefit other beings. So one looks at the sentient beings of conditioned existence, the beings who are lost in samsara, and see that it is because they are ensnared, I don't know that, in the web of self-grasping and the great abyss of ignorance, that they are tormented by ceaseless suffering. So this is talking about wisdom. Long as we have wisdom, then that person looks at the sentient beings. So that person looking to other beings of conditioned existence. Then these beings who are lost in samsara and see that it is because they are ensnared in the web of self-grasping, so strong self-grasping. And that self-grasping and the same is at the end of the great abyss of ignorance that they are tormented by ceaseless suffering. This all being ceaseless suffering due to this self-grasping and ignorance. So it is from that recognition means who has wisdom, they recognize that. Then great compassion is born. It really comes compassion for other beings. So this compassion is causes wisdom, result is compassion. So usually our compassion is born with a little bit different ways, cultivate, or we recognize this beings used to our parents, we wish them free from We wish them have a happiness. We wish them free from suffering, and then cultivate bodhicitta. So that is like another part. This is different. Who has wisdom, then they recognize all these thinking beings stuck in samsara. Why they are stuck in samsara? Because due to self-grasp and ignorance. That's so strong. And that's the reason these beings stuck in samsara, endless suffering in samsara. Recognize that and comes very strong compassion for them. So sometimes you meditate, you can feel that. When you meditate and low into your mind, really into the, Mahamudra meditation, and then you get kind of a blessing, get blessing your mind, and you then recognize all other beings. Don't, or everyone has this nature, you know, everyone has a Buddha nature. Everyone have this, essence of like, nature mind. No one recognize, and you recognize, you be in that nature. You meditate, you get blessing yourself, and you feel happy. And then that time it comes a very strong compassion for others, because everyone has this Buddha nature. This no one recognize due to self-grasping and ignorance. They are endless suffering in samsara. Then comes a very strong compassion through your meditation. And also when you meditate, you see these animals, bugs flying. So comes, seeing these all beings as Buddha nature, and recognize they are, don't recognize due to their karma reborn to the animals. And, your wisdom recognize they are stuck in samsara. The reason is because due to the self and ignorance. Then you comes strong compassion to them. So that is like compassion is causes dharma, arise compassion. You understanding dharma and comes compassion to others. So that understanding dharma is wisdom. So causes wisdom, arise compassion for others. That's compassion is called irreversible compassion. That compassion is a very high level compassion. That compassion is antidote to our self-grasping. That compassion is antidote to our emotions. So when that fears arise in our mind, that fear is precious. That feeling is called precious bodhicitta. That feeling is you cannot buy any place. You cannot buy any shops, So that we have to create, because understanding Dharma, and then you recognize this being's suffering due to the self-grasping. You recognize comes a strong compassion arise. That feeling is precious. That's called precious compassion, precious bodhicitta. So we have to create that. Sometimes we talk about, we have to meditate compassion, bodhicitta, but sometimes we don't know how to do that. Looks great words, like beautiful words, cultivate bodhicitta, cultivate compassion. How to do that, So not easily comes like that. So have to understanding anyway. The main point is the wisdom, create wisdom, then arise this precious bodhicitta. It is from that recognition that great compassion is born, and it is from compassion that supreme bodhicitta can arise. So then compassion comes for others, bodhicitta is arise. If you have bodhicitta, it means your dharma has gone along the right path, the third lane reach. So then your dharma is going to right direction. The right direction, wrong direction is depending. Do you have compassion or bodhicitta? These two, Long as you have compassion, bodhicitta, your practice is going to right direction. Long as you don't have bodhicitta and compassion, your practice is going to you don't have that going to wrong direction. So then, and sometimes you see the T-shirt. Someone I saw someone wear the T-shirt. They say, "My religion is compassion." something like that. I think that's holiness is a quote. You know, if you, long as you have a compassion, bodhicitta, your religion is correct. Long as you have a compassion, bodhicitta, you're not going to harm any other beings. You have for other beings. Long as you have this compassion, bodhicitta, and your mind is joy and happy, because bodhicitta bring the happy and the joy. Who has bodhicitta? No one has depressions. Who has bodhicitta? No one has a mental problem. Okay. So who has bodhicitta, then of course a little bit stressed out, could be, that is like due to circumstances, but not really going to get depression so strong and like going to suicide themselves who has bodhicitta. So it's thing about that bodhicitta is like it's all is release our suffering. That's the reason it's called bodhicitta, is precious. Money cannot solve our problems, cannot release our suffering, right? So our material things not possible. Or this like whatever we this samsaric, this worldly desire things, no one can release suffering. They all actually causes of suffering become. First, of course, it's great. Then slowly, all it's become causes of suffering. But this bodhicitta is the reason is called precious. Why is we call precious bodhicitta? Is bodhicitta is antidote to all our this suffering. Who has bodhicitta? Like this person is always joy and happy. That person has more courage. That person benefit others a lot. So that we recognize, bodhicitta's quality. If long as we have a bodhicitta, then whatever we're doing is going to right direction, right path. So bodhicitta is great, right? That's the reason all the Buddhas, Yidam that is essence is bodhicitta. The where is Buddhas come from? Bodhicitta. Where is bodhicitta come from? Compassion. Compassion come from the love. So where is love come from? It's actually renunciation. And then where is this all? The best one is wisdom. Long as we have wisdom, then compassion, bodhicitta, with the renunciation, all this going to work very well. Without wisdom, renunciation, bodhicitta, compassion doesn't work very well. Okay. You have a car, someone needed to drive, so wisdom is drive. Bodhicitta is a car, wisdom is drive. So the main point, that thing, okay? Then the third line reads, so this section is hard, okay? This section is more harder. Why is it harder? Because I put lots of more philosophical things here. It's also you learn this section, even you went to the Sheda study, but you understanding what we're doing in the Sheda study. The way Buddhist Sheda study means not only study Buddhist, we have to study all what the non-Buddhist says. What all the ancient religion says. We have to learn all these things first. Then of course study what non-Buddhist says. They have to other part, what Buddhist philosopher think that. Then what Buddhist philosopher against, why they against, like why they not accept that, which kind of not accept, why is the reason is not accepted, debating. And then, okay, you understanding what this problem, why they don't accept that. So that is this part, section. So beings who are, because followed by the words, beings who are, this all the root texts have to link together, link. Beings who are deceived by delusory philosophical views and dharmas. Even though one may have awakened compassion and bodhicitta, one may not able to dispel confusion about how to practice and meditate properly on the path. Enter Gambopa third prayer from these four dharmas, grand blessing to dispel confusion along the path. So now we have already bodhicitta. It's the same as a car. We have that. Now we talking about the who daver, the daver also great daver, no do any accident, no create like get speed ticket, no going to wrong path and wrong directions. So these passengers take to the right path, right direction, right time. They get on time, no any, obstacles on the path. So that is the daver who, that's a good one. Same is like that. So this is the talking about that. Enter Gambopa third prayer for these four dharma grants. So grant the blessing that dispel confusion along the path. So I don't know, this is looks like on the battery. Still, maybe my voice go down. I don't know. Just confusion the path. So Gambopa said, the grant blessing to dispel confusion along the path. So why is we have this, confusion along the path? Because due to these philosophical views and dharmas. And we have to understanding which is right, which is wrong. Otherwise, you get confusion. That's the reason we have to create wisdom. People who strive for liberation and emanation, Buddhahood, must diligently apply themselves to the methods for internalizing the pure way of selflessness. So people who strive for liberation, that is us, okay, who want seeking liberation and omniscient Buddhahood, must diligently, what we have to apply themselves to the methods for internalizing the pure view of selflessness. So we have to understanding selflessness of a person, selflessness of phenomena. So this true self-clinging, so we have to recognize, understand that selflessness of a person, selflessness of phenomena. We have to get the realization, understanding that. Not itself, not satisfy, I say, not satisfy merely with obtaining food and clinging for this life. So we are human beings, we have intelligence, we get precious human body. So we have to understanding, what is very important. So very important, most important is omniscient liberation and omniscient Buddhahood. So we have to apply that, must diligently apply that. So we apply that, we cannot just stuck in this right now, our, like worldly, some sort of temporary things satisfy. if we satisfy in this worldly samsara right now, what we have, if we satisfy that, then we're not going to apply the, the liberation and unleashing Buddhahood. So no, one should really caution. We have to think about ourselves. We have to make caution ourselves. Is there afterlife or not? So we have to think, oh, we have only this life, future life. So no 100% gone this the battery for the air beats. So my voice is I have to close to the iPad. So we have to create like ourselves, make caution ourselves. Do you believe future life or not? So you have yesterday or not, you have tomorrow or not. You have yesterday, you have previous life. You have tomorrow, you have future life. So it's exactly the same, same. Previous life, future life, same as yesterday and tomorrow and in today. Today is the same as this life. Tomorrow is the same as future life. Yesterday is the same as the past life. Because our mind consciousness is exactly doing same, consciousness is not dying. Consciousness just like dissolution means like when we die, this consciousness is like going dissolve in the subtle level, and then going to wake up and to take another birth. Same is like last night you go sleep, first sleeping. All this consciousness dissolve into your these faculties or senses, dissolve to into your senses. So when you wake up, it's come back again. And last night we going to sleep is the same as a death. So wake up is like same as a rebirth again. And then if you wanted to really follow this more details, it's of course like Buddhist logic book talk about this lots. Whole book is approving future life and previous life. The book is created by, of course, Buddha also talk about this logic, and then more logic is Chandra, no Chandra Kirtis. It's Dharma Kirti. It's Dharma Kirti has two Dharma Kirtis. One is Bigong Kaju lineage order, also Dharma Kirti. But one is the India and Nalanda University scholar. His name is Dharma Kirti. And the Nalanda University, the 8 scholars, main 8 scholars. Actually, they have 17 scholars, but main is 8 scholars. So there's main 8 scholars is two. These scholars created this all the Buddha's teaching. 2 scholars focus for Vinayana teaching. So Buddha taught lots of Vinayana teachings, but these 2 scholars bring all Vinayana teachings very easy to understand, and all they just make everything is like create one, the book and the whole Buddha's teaching, like Vinayana teaching, is easy to understand whole thing. So this is called Vinayana Order 2 teachers. And then of course logic also have 2 teachers. They have 2, I don't know the other one. It's Soji Lampo. With Tibet is called Soji Lampo. I don't know how to call the Sanskrit name. Another is Dharma Kirti. So this 2 is for logic. All these Buddha's teachings bring in the logic book and debating. Called Tibet is called Tema, is logic book. And then Nagarjuna and Ayan Deva. So Chandrakirti, there the bring is all these Buddhas. Is teaching is like same as science, philosophy. It's Mayamika, like more focus for the view and absolute truth view. So then some two teachers, they bring like Abhidhamma teaching, or Buddha's teaching is Abhidhamma teaching, create very simple, like easy to understanding. So that's the reason this young Nalanda University, the scholars, knowledge unbelievable. When you read Buddha's whole this teaching, and then they bring all these teachings like kind of like root text, short and longer, short form and longer form, so you can study easily. So that's all bring into the for more logically, through the wisdom approving these teachings. So that knowledge is unbelievable, because they're also all the understanding this non-Buddhist teaching. And then they study all the Buddhists and they're comparing, and those Buddha's teaching is put in the more education wisdom way, not just only believe for blind faith flaw. That's the reason. So Dalai Lama always try to the Buddhist teaching is followed by science, and science. This Nalanda University, this philosopher is a scientist. They bring all Buddha's teachings like for education way, and then also study easy to understand. So that's why it's Tibetan Buddhist is followed by the Nalanda tradition, and it's more logically approving, followed by science. So I really don't know the other country Buddhists, but looks like then they really don't have the same as the Tibetan Dharma, like kind of education system, and follow the Nalanda University tradition, follow like that way. Because I know that some Chinese Buddhists, the teachers only share lots of stories about the Buddhas, and bring this like in the Buddha's book and share the stories something, but that didn't go really essence of the logically into the Dharma approving. So that's the I heard this what this Chinese like teachers teaching. I know what they're doing things. I heard this, but they don't have really bring the logically and wisdom, bring the Dharma to deliver it to others. They share lots of stories. They share the lots of stories, but not to into the perform Dharma. And Tibetan actually in this philosophy, the story is not that much important. Stories. The most important is your logic and investigating through the wisdom, understanding, investigating. So then it is. So we have to question ourselves. We have not only this life, we have future life. Where is that? If so, I think so. Question and the condition. Not if there is a future life, are the resulting experience of happiness and suffering, and the happiness and the suffering we are experiencing in the present life due to specific cause and conditions. So now, if we have future life, so then this resulting experience of like we have happiness and we have suffering, and the happiness and the suffering we are experiencing in the present right now, our life, due to specific cause and conditions. This happiness and suffering both has cause and conditions. If so, what are they? not only should we have an understanding of these issues, we should also be thinking about the ways in which we can dispel suffering and engender happiness. So we know, like we understand that, you know, our happiness, our suffering has conditions, causes conditions. So then we want happiness, no one wants suffering. So we have to look to which is like causes of happiness. We have to investigate which is causes of suffering. You know, not just follow by the result. So we have to look into the cause. So if we don't want the suffering, we have to know where is this suffering come from. If we want happiness, we have to look into where is this happiness come from. Not only should we have understand of these issues, we should also be thinking about the way in which we can dispel suffering and engender happiness. Okay, so now we can take break there and finish time. So we can take lunch breaks or breakfast breaks. Canada is 11 o'clock, right? No, 10 o'clock. You are 10 o'clock. So you can take breakfast. We can take his lunch. So any questions in the chat room?
No questions.
No questions,
Chat
Kempo.
room.
Okay, no questions. So then we going to take break here. I'm going to chant the short Amitabha. This morning we said the Amitabha prayer Tibetan. I'm going to do that dedication. Take break. Ma ho ngom zara sanje nawan da ye se jo wo du ye jen bo da yong de sen ban de jen do nam lai sanje san sen ba min ko ji ko de jian ngom zara ba de me ba ye de wa ji ye za we jen gan de da yen de ne sen pi jur ma da je wa yin je par ma ju ba ru de re jin ne nan de xiang dong yo de ge da ge mo lan da ban de so je san zen dam je ge mian zhe ba re xin je lao de so de ya da ben dan zhe ya a wa bo de na ye zo ma jie ba nan jie jiu jie ba nian ba me ba yang gong ne gong de be wa yu. Thank you, everyone. See you.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you. And thank you, Kempo, for that explanation of
Welcome.
the past and future. When you said that, it like
Yes.
made it all line up. Thank you for that. I really, really, truly appreciate
You're
that.
welcome.
You just make these very complicated things so accessible. Have a good lunch.
Everyone has a good lunch.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kempo.
Thank you, everyone. See you later.
Thank you.
See you in 3 hours, right?
Yes, hours. We have 3 hours break, and you
Mhm.
can take up. You can do yoga exercise, lunch. You have enough time.
Perfect.
Yes.
Okay.
Bye.
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 Bye.